Well, hello everybody. Thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to have a real yarn circle time. We're just going to tell some yarns, we're going to share some yarns, and we're going to be dreaming about some yarns. So grab a drink and something to work on and yarn over with us.
And I said, you have just made my day.
Hello there, I am Susie and I am from Huntsville, Alabama, and we are so glad that you are joining us today for our friendly yarn circle. And we are thrilled to have you if you're new, and all those that are coming back that have been with us for a while, welcome. We've got a lot of fun little things to share with you today, so sit back with your yarn and needles and take a listen.
And my name is Linda, and I live in the Charlotte area, and we really do think of this as group therapy. It is for us anyway,
Yes,
so hopefully you'll enjoy it.
It is
as
great
well.
therapy.
Well, first of all, we get to visit with you and we get to talk about knitting. So there you go.
Yes.
And if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and like any episodes you like. That helps YouTube with the algorithm to share with people who are not yet watching or have not yet subscribed. So anyway, it's a nice way that you can help us. What you been up to? Any life updates?
Yeah, well, I didn't give an update on my leg the last time that we talked. So my leg is still healing. The break is better and basically healed. I'm still waiting to see the doctor. It's very unusual that I've not seen a doctor yet, but I've found out that my doctor is in treatment for throat cancer. So I'm just so sorry to hear that.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I think he's only at the office one day a week. And I mean, I'm going to a practice that has lots of ortho doctors, but so I'm scheduled to see him in about a little over a week. I'll see him, and right now I'm in PT, and that is helping as far as strengthening muscles because I've not been as active, of course, and
Sure.
My knee is the issue. You know, I have a torn PCL, and so I'm not really sure what the prognosis or diagnosis is going to be for that. So that's kind of where the doctor's coming in because he's really the only one that can make a decision there. So I'm just walking very careful. My knee still feels very unstable. When I'm having to walk long distances, I do use a cane, and I tell you, it's been quite interesting. I feel like I'm that little old woman.
But you're an awfully pretty one.
Well, thank you. You know, people are saying, "Oh, ma'am, let me get that for you," and they're opening the door. These young guys, you know, they're saying, "Oh, ma'am, let me get you that." And I'm thinking, how old do you think I look? How old do you think I am?
Well,
I just feel like I'm this little old woman. So it's been quite interesting. You know, it's very hard to cross over that bridge, you know, to go from the side of the bridge where you feel young and youthful and you feel like you look youthful and all of that. And then, you know, we're slowly walking across that bridge, and it's really hard to get all the way across. So anyway, I know that
it's that they think you look old. I think they know you need help. That you're wounded, you know.
Well,
so they're just being gentlemen.
Okay, I'm going to believe that way. I'm going to believe that way. But when you're asked, do you want the senior citizens discount? These young people are seeing you a different way. You know that you know. Well, I gave you the senior citizen discount. I mean, years ago, I went to get a ticket at a movie theater, and she told me the price, and I said, "What?" I said, "That's not the right way." She said, "Well, the senior discount is." I said, "Oh, you gave me the senior discount."
Yeah, the senior discount start at 55.
She was young, and I thought, well, how old do I look to you? So, you know, I look in the mirror and I know I'm older, and I know I don't look the same, but I don't feel like I look old. But anyway, it's just it's all in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
So there it is. That's my update on my leg. You know, I'm still working through it. And that's probably the biggest life update. there are some sick grandchildren, and so Mary Catherine's got her hands full with a baby and some sick children. So I've been really praying for her that the Lord would just kind of undergird her and strengthen her. I feel a little helpless. I'm about 7 hours away, so anyway, that's another life thing that's going on. And my son Luke, that lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, is coming this weekend to visit. So I'm
Yay.
really excited about that because I haven't seen him since last November. So it's
Oh,
sad when you only see
wow.
children about once a year. So we are going to get to squeeze in a visit before Thanksgiving this year. So I'll have seen him one time since last November, but he's a long ways away. It's about a 12, 13-hour drive for him. So anyway, that's my life updates. What are
Oh.
yours?
Well, one of them I'm going to talk about in my works in progress. I don't know if that's about a life update, but if you follow me on my personal Instagram, we do have an Instagram for Yarn Over with Us, so you can follow that. And but I put an answer to prayer. My husband has kind of had to put fishing aside just because he's just been too busy, and so he decided to pull out one of his antique outboard motors, and it didn't work, and it didn't work. He spent like a whole day working on it, and he said, this isn't going to work. And of course, he had the whole weekend to just go out on the water if it worked. And I said, we prayed about this. Just try one more time. Just try one more time. He said, oh, Linda, I've already done this, this, this. I said, just try one more time. And it cranked. And we
Aw.
just did like the jig. We were just yelling and screaming. And so that was kind of cool, of course. And it's just pray about all things, right? So there it is. So he is actually out fishing and while I'm recording. So that's great. And the other little I don't know. I don't like the words little prayers because aren't all prayers, the things that concern you are all valid, right? But some of you might notice that my hair is a little shorter, and I thought I would tell you this kind of story because there's actual an answered prayer in here. So before one of the previous episodes, the one with Sarah, I actually cut about an inch of my hair off just because it was long and witchy looking to me, and it looked fine. And we did the recording, and that was that. So a week later, my rooster disappeared. And I was really devastated. If you have chickens, a good rooster is really a good thing. A good rooster looks like this. They don't attack you. That's the first thing. And number two, they protect the flock. And his name was Vigor. He was the best rooster ever. I mean, he was so good. I mean, if there was a girl, off, because sometimes the girls will wander off by themselves, he would go round them up. We called him like a border collie. He kept them in a nice little group. And they will literally, I mean, they will fight to the death for their girls. And we went to put them up on Thursday, and he wasn't there. And like, he would never be without the girls. I mean, the hens will wander off, the rooster does not. And we started looking around, and it was really warm, I remember. And we're looking for piles of feathers because, of course, if it was taken by something on four legs, there would be a little bit of a struggle, by fox, coyote, and we'd see a little bit of feathers and we'd know. But there was nothing. I mean, it was like out of thin air. So then we had to just decide that it was an owl, because an owl is big enough and powerful enough and quiet enough to just swoop down, pick it up, and go. And I came in the house and I cried, and then I cut my hair.
Oh no.
Now, I used to cut my hair all the time, but I cut my hair mostly because I knew it needed some layers. And so I started to put some layers in it. And then I was just not emotionally equipped to cut my hair. And so now, my hair is very lopsided. And I'm thinking, this was on now Thursday, and we were going to record on Monday. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got to get my hair cut. So Friday morning, I woke up and I went to the Great Clips where I get my hair cut. Now
Yay,
I
great
had,
clips.
yeah, yeah. I have two girls there who do a great job on my hair. But I have not seen either one of them in quite some time, which is why I haven't been getting my hair cut. I just leave. I'll stop by. Are they there? No. Okay, I'll come another week later. And the weeks have gone by. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and I knew I didn't have time, because when the weekend comes, forget it. It's very busy. It was 10 o'clock or 10:30 on a Friday morning. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, oh, the cringe factor of just letting someone else touch my already messed up hair. And so I just said, Lord, I'm just going to have to be at rest and at peace with this. I said, whoever gets my hair, please let them do a good job, because I really only have faith in two of them there. I've seen anyway. And I really wanted the assistant manager. She does a fabulous job. And so I'm sitting there and I'm knitting and I'm knitting and I'm knitting. And all of a sudden in walks the manager. And
Yay.
I just blurted out, "You are an answer to prayer." And she looked at me like, what's going on? Well, still, I didn't know if I'd get her, because you're kind of in the hopper and they'll call you. And so I'm sitting there and now I got to pray some more. Okay, Lord, I just calm down, have faith. It's going to be okay. And she goes behind. It seemed like forever, getting her stuff ready. And suddenly she comes out and she goes, Linda? Anyway, so she cut my hair and I told her what was going on. And she said, "Why have you not come in?" And I called once and they would not tell me if you were here or not. And she said, when was this? I said, well, during COVID. She said, oh, girl, nothing's the same as during COVID. She said, you call. And then she
Dear
looked at
Lord,
me
that was 5 years ago.
well, I know, but if they tell me, my door is closing. But if they tell me, they don't give out information, I assume that's just a done deal. I'm not going to keep questioning it. But anyway, she gets down real low and she looks at me and she says, promise me you'll throw away the scissors. I'm like, is it that bad? She's like, yeah. She's like, I'm going to have to shorten this up a lot. And I said, anyway. But
I think it looks
just,
great.
well, thank you. But it's settled in already. But we just pray and we have faith and just have to, have faith in the process. So there you go. So there's my answer to prayer.
My mom used to always say that we make the plans, but God ordains our steps, and He does, and other steps too.
I know. It's so true. It's so true. So that is my little bit of crazy little. That there's a yarn for you. And just in case you're new to the channel, a yarn actually means a story. So that's where yarn over with us, story over with us comes from. It just happened to be also a knitting term. So anyway, there's a yarn for you. But all right, let's get into our projects. Got anything finished?
I do.
Good.
Well, because this is what I'm doing a lot of. I've another pot holder.
Oh, is that gray? Is that gray and black or black and white?
Gray and black. Gray and black.
Okay, good. My screen is showing true color.
Yes. Yeah, so I did a cast on of 35 for this. Or no, not a cast on. I did a chain of 35 to make this pot holder. I had been making them with a chain of 33, and I did a chain of 35, and I think I did 10 rounds of the gray, then I did 5 rounds of the black, and then I did another like 5 or 6 rounds of the gray, and that's all it took to close it up.
Awesome.
So they go so fast, and they're going to make really nice Christmas presents. So yeah, so I did finish that. And I don't have any other, I have things on my needles, but that is the only thing that I have finished.
Well, that's okay. It's so wild because the last time we recorded, I'm up in my craft studio. And ironically, when I created this room, I called it a craft studio, never knowing I'd actually need a studio. That was 4 years ago or something. And so I'm just trying to kind of carve out a little area that I can leave all of my stuff up and my computer and all that stuff, because I'm just don't want to have to do that every time. So anyway, but last time we were recording, I literally was holding one of those ice packs that you freeze for your cooler on my lap. It was so hot up here, and I can't run the air conditioner because it's too loud. It's right next to me. Now it's probably an easy 71 degrees and breezy, and it's perfect. So I'm very glad. But anyway, my only finished project is my little pumpkin.
Oh, that is beautiful.
So here is why I did it. I have been doing a lot of garter stitch, and I'm getting a little bored. So I thought, I need some cables in my life. I need some cables, but I don't
Yeah.
need too many. And Care Bear, she said, I think it was on Instagram, that there's a lot of free patterns for pumpkins. So this is the same yarn that I made my garland out of. Now, what I didn't realize is how much yarn this took. I'm out of yarn. I guess it wasn't that big of a,
Really?
yeah, just the leaves and this. I thought I could make at least 3 of them. I like the number 3, but anyway, but isn't that cute? But what I love
That
about
is
it is
darling.
how it transitioned, like a real pumpkin would be different colors.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's kind of cute. So
I
that's the
love
only thing
that.
I got done, and it was fun. And
Now, what do you have as the stem?
this is grapevine.
Oh,
Grapevine.
grapevine. Okay.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, I
just put a
like
little
that.
timbrel on there. Yeah, I always whenever I make, like, well, this is not a knit thing, but when I made this is sewn, obviously, and I sewed this quite a few years ago. This is also
Okay.
a very fat grapevine, but I think they look a little better than the knit ones. And you can use any twig. It doesn't have to be a grapevine, but I like the shape. It kind of does this little twirly thing. But
You know, you
yeah.
could use maybe a cinnamon stick too, and that would give
Oh
fragrance
yes. Oh,
because
I
they're
like that idea.
brown, and just stick a little cinnamon stick in the top. So that's,
And if they do lose scent, you can always put a drop of cinnamon oil on the stick.
yeah,
It would absorb it. Oh, man.
yeah, that's a great, that's
But
a great idea.
I could even probably add it to that. I might try it.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's the only
That's a great
thing.
friend. That's a great finished project.
Yeah, my little
I tell
pumpkin.
you
But
what, when you've got 1 week to figure out what am I going to start and what can I finish, weeks go by very fast, especially when
they do.
you knit and crochet like I do. Just in truly knit the crevices of my life,
The nooks and crannies you always used to say.
nooks
I
and
know.
crannies. Yeah.
It's so wild. So what are you working on?
Well, I
Pot holders,
showed.
apparently.
Well, no, I'm working
I
on some
hear
other
ya.
thing.
Oh, good.
So I showed my sock last
That is,
episode,
you know what I
the
was going to tell
Graceland
you?
sock.
That reminds me of those stones that are round geos, and they cut them in half, and it has all the crystals inside, and they're brown with crystals. That reminds me, the sock part is so pretty. It reminds me of like a beautiful fancy
Haven't
bra.
tied the
Oh,
ends
that's
in
all right.
yet. But anyway, so I showed y'all the Graceland sock, and so I almost have the second Graceland sock. So I started this this week, and I'm at the toe, so I
Oh,
almost had
wow,
it finished.
Susie, you
I
have.
almost had that finished, so I'll have that finished, and well, I'll probably finish it today. And then I had mentioned, that I went to my local yarn shop and used up my $75
Yes.
gift certificate, talked about that last episode. And when I was there, I did buy 2 other hanks of yarn. Nina had a beautiful shawl in her shop, and it's called Ocean. I think I sent you a link for that, Linda. It's called Ocean World. It's a shawl called
Yeah,
Ocean
let me pull
World.
it up. Let me pull it up.
So when I was in the yarn shop, Nina had personally knitted this shawl, and it's a shawl that uses lace yarn, and she used 100% merino wool to do this, and then she used a yarn that kind of fades into other colors, and it was absolutely beautiful. And so she helped me to pick out the 2 hanks of yarn that I would need to do this shawl. And she also let me know that she had altered the pattern a little bit. Linda, if you'll go to that other picture, this gives you a real up close look at what's going on in this shawl. And the little bunches of yarn right there is called a half flower. And you'll see that there are 2 rows above there. So you're creating 1 row when you're doing these half flowers across the shawl. And then you come back the back side, and then you pick up your lace main color again to work until you get back to the half flowers. And one of the things that she showed me on the pattern is, she said, Susie, she said, I did not like that staying in stockinette stitch. She said, because it didn't stand out enough. And she said, so what I did is I changed and made that garter so that it would stand out in front of the stockinette, and it was absolutely beautiful. So I've got my colors, and it truly was a booger to start. I had to rip out over and over again, because the half flower instructions were a little bit different than what you had to actually do in the pattern, but I finally figured it out and got it going. And so, yeah, I've started it, and my colors are...
Here, let me get rid of this so that we can...
So when I was in the yarn shop, I loved the shawl so much that I picked out 2 hanks of yarn to do the shawl myself, and so these are the colors. And you can see how that the yarn moves slowly to different colors. And then this is my main color, and this is 100% merino wool, and it's lace weight. And I forgot how much I enjoy doing knitting with lace weight yarn. You know, that's
what I did.
I don't know
crazy.
why I love lace weight.
And
I'm knitting with our needles that we told everybody about. I'm using a US 3 is what I'm using to knit. And this is the beginning of my Ocean World shawl.
Oh, so you're doing it that way. I thought you were going to do it that is...
So I've added, see, this is garter right here.
Yes.
And it's, you see how it stands out in front of the main color? And
wait. Put it back up there so I can see. So tell me again, which part is the garter? The introductory row? The introductory row? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, when you do the half flowers right here, you're doing it, it tells you to purl it tells you to knit across in between these half flowers, but instead of knitting, I'm purling. And then, which gives me a garter ridge. And then on the back side, I'm knitting to give another garter ridge, because you've got 2 rows that sit above these half flowers in your color, your corresponding color. And so instead of doing
that's pretty
knit on both sides and purl on the back, which gives you that stockinette look that you've got here, then I'm purling across until I get to the half flower, and it is actually knitted into these yarn overs here. You're going into the yarn overs and pulling up. It was a learning curve. It was something new I'd never done, and I have loved doing it, and it's going to be beautiful. And you know, this is going to be one of those shawls that you do a wet block, and because it's going to open up all of that lace, and it is going to be beautiful. And these half flowers are going to keep changing in color, but it's slowly changing. And so I can't wait until, I hope I get to the greens that are in the mauves and all of that are in there. I really don't know what's inside of there, but Anyway,
That'll be a
I'm
beautiful fall shawl, like all the
yeah.
leaves. I know it's supposed to be oceany, but it could be leaves. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
no,
Look at it. It looks
that
sleepy.
was yeah, that was my thought too. It's going to be beautiful
I like
fall
it.
shawl.
Oh.
So I that's on my needles, and then I did a crazy thing. Oh, let me say something about this. One of the things that was so frustrating about the cast on of this shawl was the pattern said to do a long tail cast on, and it was only a few stitches. I think it's about 19 stitches. And you do your cast on, and then row 1 is right side. I had the biggest pet peeve about this. It's like, do not tell me to do a long tail cast on and the next row is right side, because it's wrong side. That long tail cast on has a right side and a wrong side to the cast on. You know, I never have to mark my pattern, my projects, whether it's right side or wrong side. All I have to do is look at the cast on, and I know if I'm on the right side or the wrong side. And so what you have to do, if that bothers you, to have the right side cast on the wrong side of your work, is you always have to go to row 2, or you have to purl across and then start your pattern. And I
Sure.
don't know why they do that, because it makes a big difference of the way that little line down there on the bottom, whether it's got the little woven look on the bottom or it's got a garter look. And the garter is the back side of the cast on. That little woven look at the bottom, that is your right side of the cast on. But it happens when you do the cast on. So that was another thing that I had to figure out. I had to make sure that I was handling the pattern at the bottom to where that I could be on the right side, the real right side of the work, not what they were calling the right side. So anyway, that's a little pet peeve of mine. It's like, do not tell me to do a long tail cast on and row 1 is on the right side of the work. It's on the wrong side, unless there's a reason for that, you know. But anyway, then the other thing that I did is I bought a book a few weeks ago by a designer. It's a brand new book, and it's called Socks the Crochet Way. And it's written
Oh.
by Karen, and I thought you pronounced that Woolly, but it's Hooley. The W is silent. And so it's a brand new book, and she sent it to me, and she autographed my book.
Oh, I should. Oh,
And
should get
I was so excited about getting it, because I thought, I really want to learn how to crochet socks. And Karen I'm on her email list, and so she had sent out an email saying that she was going to do a 4-day sock challenge, that you crochet a pair of socks in 4 days. Well, I was crazy enough to think that I might try to do that. I did get on her Zoom call. I got on her Zoom call on Friday, and she answered questions and talked about, you know, everybody showed the yarn that they had chosen and all of that. And I've been on the Discord, you know, thread, and seeing everybody's socks that they're crocheting in 4 days. And so I thought I was crazy enough that I could do that, and I have not done it. This is the yarn
Did
that I
you
chose.
start?
I did start, but I'm not really sure. The word's out. I don't know if I like it. You know, I'm so used to knitting socks, even though, you know, I have to think about heel flap and gusset a lot of times, and I've kind of got the toe in my mind. But sometimes they're not, if you're following any type of little pattern, they're not as comfort knitting, but they can be in a lot of places. This was just, it was hard to me. It was hard.
Really?
And the cuff
Ooh.
is front post crochet, so the ridge, it's not wanting to, my camera's not wanting
I'm
to.
telling you, they've got crochet stitches now that almost are imposters of knit. I mean, you have to
Well,
really look at them
you
hard to
really
know the
do.
difference.
And
That's what they're
this,
doing there.
I have loved using my crochet hook. This is a Knit Pick crochet hook that I'm using to do the sock.
Oh,
And this is as much as I got. This much of the
I
cuff
think
and
that
that much
looks
of the leg.
great.
So I don't know if I'm really going to continue it. I love the yarn, and I know I would love to make a pair of knitted socks out of this. So I don't know. I might frog this and pull it out and start again. But this
Oh,
book, if you crochet socks, this is a
Heather,
wonderful, wonderful new book. And
it is beautiful.
you
Yeah.
can get it through Amazon. You can get it through there. So Linda, and I think you can
Yeah,
go
I
straight
can
to
pull it up.
Karen's website and get it there. In fact, I'll tell you what, you can get the Kindle download, but now
Mhm.
you have to get the book itself through Karen's website. So we can put a link
Oh,
there so people will
okay.
know where to go to get this. But the socks, the socks are beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful
they are.
socks. They're crochet really grows a lot quicker because these girls are literally crocheting a pair of socks in 4 days.
Wow.
And at the beginning of the book, she actually puts her grandmother's typed out pattern for crocheted socks. And this is kind of where her journey started. Her
Wow.
grandmother,
That's cool. That's cool.
yeah, her grandmother crocheted. And so that was something else that I put on needles. And so, yeah, a crocheted sock, a shawl that I've started, and a sock that's almost finished.
Oh, I know. Well, it's okay.
So,
It's
what's on your
okay.
needles?
Well, first of all, back to the bargain needles. Let me tell
And I
you why
really do
I
love
like
those
them.
needles.
Every metal has a finish. It can be super slippery or it can be not so slippery. And that just has to do with how they're machined. I only know this because my husband tells me these things. I love my Hayahayas for their finish. They are the slipperiest, smoothest, greased little needles you'll ever use. But the wires, I don't like, but I
Yeah.
do love the needles. My Hayahayas, I love the wires are very much like this. They're a little thicker, but they have a needle finish a little bit like this. And then, of course, I have my bamboo needles. I like these needles because I really like the wire, and these are a little less slippery. And there are
They
certain
are.
things that I don't want to easily slide off.
Well,
You know,
lace
I
knitting, I'm using
it's
I'm
one of
using them with
them.
I'm using them with this.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
lace knitting, you the finish does grab the yarn a little bit more than
yes,
it grabs it more than some of your needles, but less than a
yes,
wood needle. And
right. And
I
I
want it
like
to be a little
that.
slippery. It's a good in between.
Well, and with my chiagus, did we say chiagus? The ones we love the wires. Yeah.
Yes.
The hayas, I like the needles. I only have chiagus. I don't have interchangeables, and I really don't want to keep buying all these different needles. I like a set of interchangeables. So this is great. I'm very, very, very happy with these, and I
Oh,
would.
I am too. Go get them, girls.
I
Do
know
not let this opportunity pass you by.
on our
I
website
really think
under
you will
knitting.
love them.
Oh, $29.99. I
Oh,
mean,
you
in case,
cannot beat
in case.
that.
Oh, it's attached. I mean, I do keep one of these inside. Did it come with that? I don't remember. I think I
It
added
didn't. It didn't come with that.
because they're all in metric. Or I have some needles missing because I'm using them. But look at all the sizes. It goes
Yeah,
from
but
two
they
to
do have
15.
the US side in the printed in on the inside.
Well,
Look,
right. But it seems.
did you see that? But
Oh,
not on the needles. Yeah, but they
gotcha.
do have that there, so you can
Hello.
see.
Well, I only have used. Oh, I actually used two different colors already, two different sizes, 6 and 4, and they're both over there. Yeah. So, sorry, I dropped that.
You
And
cannot beat the
no,
quality and the price. It
no, you can't.
is great.
They are great. So anyway, I really do like them. And well, I guess I don't need this. So, but let me put this aside. So before I get in, here's my basket, okay, of works in progress. I had a disaster. I had the contents of this basket, basically, which are my two uh, favorite bags, my shawl and my sweater, sitting on the floor next to me on the porch. It was a beautiful evening. We were already having the fall weather, and it was starting to kind of get dark, but I was still knitting. We have like market lights both around the porch and then out in the yard. So when you leave them on the porch, it adds quite a bit of light. I also had a candle, and I'm knitting, and my husband got up and he went to turn off the lights that go around the porch. Not sure why. Not sure why. And he came back in and he hit the table and sloshed the drink. And it went all over my bags, my ranunculus. Actually, my shawl was spared, but the bag it was in got hit.
Oh, Linda.
Talk about panic city. And wax flew, and everything flew forward, but the bags were sitting at my feet. And it was panic city. But I'm good in a panic. And Danny kept saying, "Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me." I said, "I'm not mad at you. I know it was an accident." He said, "I shouldn't have turned those lights off. Then I couldn't even see." And I'm thinking, well, that might be true. But anyway, I said, "I'm not mad. I'm not mad." And he was so great. And so I had to take my, I had to empty the contents of my bags, which had many things in them. I've got this. I've got the needles. I have all these different things all over the island. So now my island's full of stuff. And then I had to detach my sweater so I could soak it because it had red wine on it.
Oh.
Yeah. Everything had red wine. That's what spilled. It was a disaster. But let me tell you what happened. So I detached it. I washed these, by the way. I sprayed it with our pre-spot, and I put a little borax in the laundry and wash it on Delicate. They came clean as a whistle.
You put the whole bag, you put your whole project bag in the wash machine?
Both of them.
Wow.
He's like, "You can buy new ones." I'm like, "Well, I'm going to buy new ones anyway, but okay." No.
I would have
If
said,
Kathy's around, I'm buying a bag.
I would say, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I said, no, it'll come clean. I had faith. I knew it would. But so I had to block my sweater. But let me tell you, so, and since then, I had finished one of the sleeves. Oh, wrong way. So since then, I had finished a sleeve.
Oh, that looks great. Did you make them long or 3/4 length?
Oh, no, they're long.
They're all the way down. Okay, that looks great.
And so when it's done, see, this was blocked, and look at how it held its shape. And that's something. That's from way up there.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what happened when I rinsed it. Then I took the sprayer, I sprayed it. Now, first of all, it was on the back, and I thought it was on the front. But once it got wet, it was so flimsy, I could hardly tell the forest from the trees. But with all of this, would you even see it anyway? No, not really. But every bit of it came out, you guys. Every bit of it. And this
wonderful.
got so soft. It before I was thinking this is going to be a really thick, kind of bulky sweater. Because remember, I mentioned it seemed like a very thick DK, but not anymore. I literally got it wet. Danny ran up. He got he knew what to get because he pays attention. He got all the blocking boards. I got pins, which I didn't need it. I rolled it up in the towel. I laid it down, and look at how beautiful this is
Yeah, that looks
flowing.
great.
And it is awesome. So now, of course, I've got a sleeve that wasn't blocked because I've added this scent, but that's okay. I'm going to reblock the whole thing anyway. But what I learned, I actually watched one of the days of the Yarnist. I signed up for that Yarnist seminar thing and
Yeah.
forgot about it. I there's a couple of them or portions of
I
them.
never got a link to it.
Oh, really?
I signed up for it twice and I never got
Mm.
links to it.
Well,
So I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna send you the one that I don't know.
The
It
links are
is,
only available for 48 hours.
well, this one is still available because I
Is
watched
it
it just
really?
yesterday and it was
Oh,
really good.
okay.
And and it is unlisted because they just want to share with the people that signed up, I guess, but I'll share it with you. But I learned
Well, I
some
signed up.
amazing things. There you go. Well, there you
I
go.
signed
I
up.
learned some things that I will do different when I pick up this sleeve. There was a woman on there, and man, I cannot remember her name, but she knits for Hollywood. She knits for movies.
Oh,
Hold
wow.
on, hold on, my air just kicked on. What? Let me turn my air conditioner off. Hold on, guys.
She
There we
knits for
go.
Hollywood. That's where
Yes,
you
and
stopped.
she had some amazing tips for picking up the underarm stitches. Bottom line, she uses a crochet hook. She goes deep and she picks up as many she picks up as many stitches as you need, regardless of how many they tell you. And
Right.
she said, just know if there's a hole now, it's not going away. If there's going to be a hole later, so don't leave a hole. And yeah, I learned some really interesting things. That was really awesome. But anyway, but I also learned some things about blocking, which has always been kind of a thing with me. I don't know why it's such a thing, but I learned things about blocking. And one of them, I just said in the last episode that nothing will probably ever get a bath at my house. Well, this got a bath before it was done. So yes, they will get baths. There are things you need to soak. And
Yeah.
this is one of them. So yeah, I'm excited about it. And but when I mean, I don't think the there's really no, yeah, there's a couple of little holes. You'll never see them in my armpits, but I'm going to do a better job on this one. And that's the thing about knitting. Every project is a new learning experience, so you
Yeah.
just kind of go with it. And so, of course, in the ranunculus, they don't have sleeve cuffs. I didn't want an open sleeve. It was too big. If it would have tapered a little bit, maybe. But so I put a sleeve cuff on here and I'm happy with that. So I literally used a sweater that I love as my template. And I did the same length in my sleeve and and also in my bottom band. So more to come when it's done. Maybe I could probably be wearing it next time we get together. So that was my whip disaster. It was scary,
Yeah,
but
that's scary.
everything ended well. Then the other thing is, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen I took apart my is it Jenny's Fern? I think it was Jenny's Fern. And let me tell you why I did it mainly is because even when I would pull it and mimic what it was going to look like blocked, it just looked like a bunch of moth holes. It was not a pretty design on a yarn that changes color all the time and changes thickness all the time. Neuro yarns are famous to look at how fluffy and bulky that is right there. And then it's sometimes it's so thin it looks like lace weight. And
Yeah.
between that and all that fern needed a solid color. So
Yeah.
and I'm like, why am I going through all this pattern reading? This pattern that I'm doing, I'm going to pull it up, it's really great. I'm very excited about it. It is called The Rolling Hills by Andrea Morris. And this is
Oh, that's
just,
pretty.
yeah, it's really pretty. And of course, the bottom has kind of the rolling hills on it. And so it will be my garter stitch. And it's very easy until I get probably to the lace, but that's okay. Um, and I learned some new things. She did it's called a tab cast on, I think it is. Tab cast on. Does that sound right? Where you kind of create like a little you create like a little square and then you start
Yeah.
your crescent from there. And that was something different. I didn't
Yeah,
understand the instructions.
Stephen West does those tab cast on a lot for his
Oh, does
shawls.
he?
Yeah,
Well,
he does.
apparently it's good for strength.
Yeah.
But and it's good for, I'm sure, these crescent shapes as well. The other thing she does in this pattern is, let me see if I can find another. Hold on, if I can find. I wish I could just make it. Oh, I can make it bigger. Oh, that's as big as it gets. Um, but what she does is, I'm going to get rid of this. Hold on. It's distracting. She has you do a yarn over at the beginning of every row so that it lays flat. And I thought that was simply brilliant. I don't know why. So it looks a little bunchy, and then you drop that yarn over at the beginning. But when you pull it, see how it straightens out real nice? And
Mm-hmm.
it'll lay, see here they are, I mean, I didn't pull them every time. So it kind of looks like you have loops hanging out until you pull it, which you're going to do when you block it anyway. There we
Now
go.
that lace bottom, is that knitted like
At the
back and
end.
forth? So are you
Yes.
going to do a corresponding color so you can see your lace? Or are you going to stay in that color? That would make the lace prettier to take and find a color that matches what you've got and do a solid at the bottom for the lace, because you'll see, you're going to fall into that same thing that you did with the fern shawl. You're not going to be able to see that lace with that color changing.
Even at the bottom, huh? I mean, just that little bit at the bottom, because the fern had it going all the way,
Yeah, you're still not going to see that pretty design of that lace in a multicolor yarn. But what you could do, and I've seen shawls that way, where that you have multicolor at the top, but you finish off with a solid at the bottom where there's a decorative border. And so that
Yep.
would be beautiful to put something different at the bottom that's solid, that matches what you've got there.
Well, what I can do is I can take my notes about what this yarn is, and that's that Noro cotton. What is it? Cotton and, oh, I keep forgetting. The Noro cotton and silk.
Okay.
And I can go look for a solid color.
Yeah, I
Well,
think that
here's
would
the
be
good news.
beautiful, and especially when you wrap it, the solid lace, and then
How does one pick?
it would. I think that would be beautiful, and you would be able to see your design at the bottom.
So I think I would pick this kind of purpley color.
Yeah,
A
I mean,
dark
really,
color.
any color that
Any
you
of them,
would
yeah.
pick, any color you
So
would
that's
pick would
going to
be
be really
beautiful.
pretty.
And
Yeah.
really, I mean, it would give it a different look no matter what you do. When you add that color at the bottom, it's going to give it a different type of look. And I would add that color based on really what you're going to want to wear it on top of. If you're going to wear it on a neutral, then I would say, do a dark color. That
Yeah, I'm
that
thinking of a dark.
Yeah, that melling color in the middle is a pretty color
Oh, I
too to
love
put
that
at the
color.
bottom.
I love,
Yeah,
yeah,
that would be a
this,
beautiful color to put at the bottom of it too. But you may not want
yeah.
that much color, down at the bottom. But yeah, I think that would be beautiful.
Yeah, so like I said, I mean, when you look at this, and all normal yarn seems to be like this because I knit a poncho last year out of a wool blend, and it was the same. I mean, it just got real fat and chunky and
Yeah.
burly, and then it would get real thin, and it changed all the
Yeah.
time. And I thought it just looked awful. That's all I can say. So I'm like, you know what? I pulled it, and I'm happy with that. But of course, now you've got me thinking about new things. But next week, my friend is coming over with her new RV. Danny will be out of town. She's coming over, and she's gonna camp in my yard. We're gonna learn how to use it, and then the next day we're going to those 2 yarn shops that I've still never gotten to
Yes.
in
Oh,
Charlotte.
you're gonna love
So
them.
I'm gonna take this with me, and I'll take the whole bag actually for color matching. Yeah, why not? I would take knitting anyway. So yeah, so that, and then I've spent a lot of time on YouTube because I've been studying about what I want to do with my Advents. Oh, and I bought another Advent. I did. I bought the Southern Skeins Advent, but
You caved.
I did, but I'm not gonna I will open it, but will not mess with it. I will work on that next year. But I'm really excited because it's a vintage 50s Christmas, and that's really the vibe of my whole Christmas tree. My Christmas tree is full of antique shiny brights, antique blown glass from Germany. I mean, I've got a lot of really old ornaments. In fact, I was so scared when we had the cat come in, but he is such a gentleman. He's never messed with anything.
Oh,
My mom used
good.
to have to tie hers with a string into a eyelet at the top of her ceiling because yeah, so the cat wouldn't knock over her tree. But
Oh,
he doesn't even
wow.
look. He doesn't even look at it. He is a professional lounge creature. He does very little. I used to worry about him, but I don't worry anymore. He's very happy. He's just super chill, which is a good thing, right? Um, but so yes, I got another one, but I've been looking at patterns, what to do with the one I'll actually be knitting, and I think at the end of the day, I think I'm just gonna knit a blanket. I don't
Oh,
know.
I love knitting blankets, and
But I do have a shawl. I do have a shawl on my radar, and I might do. I'd rather do a shawl because I'd rather wear something. And the colors. I'm all about blues. You know, I'm a blue person. um, the colors, the colors of my Advent are a lot of oceany blues, creams, color of the sand, and we are going to Key West in March. So I thought, well, if it actually still is, if it ever gets cool there, I don't know. I haven't been there, but a long time ago. That'd be a nice little shawl to wear. But otherwise, I was thinking, yeah, I think I want to do a shawl. I would like to do a shawl with the secondary one. I'm sorry, the first one, and then the second one, I'll probably do a blanket because I could sit there on the tree right next to all my shiny brights and look great. Um, and then I was gonna make a sweater for Christmas, and I've already put the kibosh on that. Too much knitting. I'm gonna make a shawl, and I'm learning. I'm gonna do beads on it. I'm gonna make it pretty.
yeah,
So I found a
I
shawl.
love shawl knitting. It's
I
my
do too. I
favorite.
do too. So I'm going to do that instead of the sweater. So all the pressure off for a sweater is off. So I've got a lot going on, but I've got to finish my sleeve. And I have to tell you, my sleeve only took me 1 day for my ranunculus. So I should be done with that by maybe, tomorrow. And then certainly by the time we go to the yarn shop in a couple of days, because I got to jump on some of these like Christmas shawl. I got to get going. I got to have
We're
it done for the
there.
holidays.
Yeah.
We're there. I know. We're in the
I
burr
mean,
months. They call them the burr.
fall is in the air. And talking about fall, I ordered a sock set from Homespun House, and it just came in the mail. It came
Oh,
from.
it's
She lives in
so
Germany,
pretty.
and this is very fall.
I
And
love it.
I'm going to use these to make my fall garland for the salon. And
Oh.
so I sent you some links. There's a crocheted pumpkin for those of you that crochet. This is a a neat little pumpkin to crochet.
Okay, so you want the pumpkin or the fall harvest?
Well, I want to
Pumpkin?
show both of them.
Okay, so we'll do the pumpkin first. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's lots of free patterns.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I'm
There's your cinnamon stick.
yeah, there's a cinnamon stick. And so this is the color that I'm going to do my little pumpkins for
Okay.
for my fireplace at the salon. And then I'm going to use these colors here to do my leaves. And this is a crocheted pumpkin. And so these it's a free pattern, or there's a place you can get it for free. There's a link for free, and then there's a link you just buy it, so it goes in your Ravelry library. But that was a little pumpkin that I thought that I might try to do with this little set. And then I wanted y'all to see. I wanted y'all to see the. I think it's called the Harvest.
Yep, harvest, fall harvest. Yep.
Fall Harvest.
Okay, let's see.
It's a garland pattern, but it has it. If you can
let's look at
pull,
this one. Oh, look at
so those are pumpkins too, and they're knitted pumpkins. And this is through Barrett Wool. It's a Susan B. Anderson designs for the leaves, and then you've got acorns, and you've even got a pine cone that you can do. And it makes,
wow.
Look at those pine cones. Isn't that pretty? So, I mean, we really are in the droves right now of doing fall things for our home. And even, you could even do some of these and put them in a little basket on the table. You don't have to make a garland, but I just love this Fall Harvest charm set. And you can get this through Ravelry. Aren't they pretty leaves? I just love them. And so I'm going to use these patterns for my garland that I'm going to make for the salon.
Here's a little scale of how big they are.
Yeah, and you actually make your stem with these, but they hang pretty on the garland, and they're little, so they're not going to take as much yarn as something that would be crocheted that's going to take more yarn. So yeah. Send us pictures of those garlands if y'all were in the fall mood and making garlands for your home.
And other than that, that's kind of all of our wish lists. I think we've covered all the yarns we're doing, the yarns we've done, and the yarns we're going to do. So there it is. Did we get it all?
I guess.
I think we did.
I don't have any more to talk about.
No yarns? Well, and I do want to remind you, if you're still watching, if you would like to be part of our Zoom call, which we are going to schedule, but we need your comments, because we did ask about the Zoom way early, and now there's so many more members of the Yarn Circle. When is a good time for you? Leave it in the comments for us, and we're going to look at this episode and see, what works for everybody. We have different time zones. And so, of course, I'm on Eastern, Susie's on Central, and I think a lot of us are on the East Coast, actually, but I'm not sure. So anyway, leave a comment.
I know that we have
below.
some in Pacific also, and Mountain. I think we have all of the time zones represented.
That's so exciting.
And I don't know what the time zones are outside of the U.S., but anyway.
The faraway zones. So if you want to be part of the Zoom, go to yarnoverwithus.com and you'll see a sign up for the email list. And we promise we won't blow up your emails. We don't have time to blow up anybody's emails. We don't have that much to say either.
No.
We say it all here. We leave it all here with you guys personally. And we really sat down today. We said, what are we going to talk about? We somehow ate up almost an hour. So anyway, so the Zoom, and if you have projects that you want to share, either wearables, blankets, or fall garlands, please send them to us. We'll share. If we don't get any, we don't share them. So anyway, so I think we're all yarned out.
Yeah, I am. I'm yarned out.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So thank you so much for spending time with us, and we will see you again next time. Happy knitting. Bye.
Man, this episode is going longer than I thought it would go. We don't have a problem talking, do we? It's like we never need to worry about that. There's always stuff to talk about.